His name was Geralt of Rivia. He was a witcher, a professional monster slayer. An unusual contract to lift the curse that held a monarch's daughter. It was enough to spend the night with the princess, dusk till dawn. If only she were not a deadly beast, a striga. The traitor responsible for the curse became the bait. Though gravely wounded, the Witcher lifted the curse and gained fame. The world changed with the coming of the Great War, the time of the sword and axe, the time of disdain. Geralt of Rivia disappeared, all but forgotten. But that's another story.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the beginning of a brand new series here on Rag Plays. At long last, we're going to be playing through The Witcher, one of my favorite games of all time, and one of the reasons I decided to make my channel in the first place, if you can believe it. Just for those who have never played before, The Witcher is a story-driven RPG released by a small company called CD Projekt RED in the halcyon days of 2007. It's based on the adventures of the titular character of a popular series of dark fantasy novels by Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski. I actually just finished rereading the first novel and about 3/4 through the second, and both are more like collections of short stories centering around the main character. And surprisingly, they hold up pretty great coming back to them. I didn't expect, like, over a decade later that I'd be as into them as I was even back then, but very well written stuff, I think, anyway. Totally not required to understand the game, though. It's got its own story. It's this whole separate thing going on, so have no fear of that. Funnily enough, the game was actually given an enhanced edition only one short year after it launched. Apparently the English translation and the voiceover work weren't quite up to snuff, so they put out a free patch redoing a lot of that. Along with an assortment of bug fixes, it should be said. In any case, that's the version we're going to be playing. Well, technically it's the Witcher Enhanced Edition Director's Cut. What a mouthful. Basically, that's just another minor patch they slapped on the Enhanced Edition to uncensor the game for Americans. Whatever, it's the most current, up-to-date version of the game that they sell on Steam or GOG, so feel free to look for it there if you're interested. On sale, it'll run you about the price of a cup of coffee, so it's pretty cheap these days. Lastly, before we get started, I just wanted to mention that, much like my last LP of KotOR, this playthrough of The Witcher will be sensibly modded for your viewing pleasure. I say sensibly because, as some of you might know, I like to preserve the original look and feel of the games I play as much as possible, while still fixing as many bugs as I can that slip past the official patches. Above all, it's important to me that The Witcher 1 remains The Witcher 1. And as such, I haven't installed any of the more famous visual mods like Rise of the White Wolf or the Witcher Overhaul Project, nor have I installed any mods that significantly alter the combat like FCR. Not that there's anything wrong with those, it's just they're not to my taste. At least not for LPing. For those especially curious, my build centers around a mod called Project Mersey, which is it's a fairly big, recent release that fixes far too many bugs and oversights for me to list individually here. All of the other mods I've installed have to play nicely with that, essentially, so and be compatible. I won't go into too much more detail, but I will try my best to point out the modded content as we come across it in-game. I'll also put a list of the mods I'm using in a pinned comment down in the comment section of this video. If it's not up initially, just give me like a bit of time. Check back in a day or two and I'll have it up for you guys. So with all that said, let me quickly show you my settings and we can get into it. This won't take long, I promise. So for game options, you're going to want to pretty much leave everything default here. The game sets you up pretty well to start off right off the bat. The only thing you might want to play around with a little is mixing and matching the voiceovers with the subtitles here. You can actually switch these between English, Polish, German, French, Spanish, Italian, Russian, Czech, Hungarian. Witcher's got a huge variety of full voice acting, surprisingly. You can even, like, change. You can even have, like, I don't know, German voiceover mixed with Spanish subtitles if for some reason you wanted that. But it's nice that they give you that option. I hear actually the Polish is really good, or a lot better than the English, but I'm not really fluent in Polish, so I couldn't tell you how true that is. But yeah, I'm a native English speaker. I'm probably just going to keep everything on English, especially since I'm making an LP. I might try Polish someday on my own, but not now. The only other option I might play around with on my own is this Show Object's Name button here. I might tick that at some point, because that'll just save me from having to hold down Alt or Control to highlight loot that's lying on the ground or in chests or NPCs or whatever. It'll just show me everything that's around. Save me some clicks. I'll see about that later on down the road. The only other thing that you might play around with is the camera modes. Now, The Witcher defaults to over-the-shoulder, OTS, and that's pretty much the bog standard for RPGs that come out this day and age, like Witcher 2, Witcher 3, they're over-the-shoulder. Knights of the Old Republic was over-the-shoulder. That's kind of what everyone assumes is going to be the case whenever you play a modern RPG. If for some reason that you don't really like that, you might like the isometric stuff better, you can switch it over to low isometric, which is a lot more like RPGs from the earlier 2000s, kind of Neverwinter Nights, if you've ever played that game, Neverwinter Nights 2, those type of games. You get a little more control at the expense of less detail, noticeable detail on the backgrounds and the scenery and whatnot. Or you can even go to high isometric, which is going even further back in time, which is more like Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dales, those sort of things. You got your god view, the view of a general, and the view of the shoulder angel, as I like to think of it as. I'm going to stick with OTS. I prefer that. I like to see the detail of the landscapes around me, and I like to feel fully immersed in this type of game, especially with all the dialogue and the story that's going on. So, right. So, video options is our next stop. And this is deceptively simple. You basically got your resolution for your monitor here that you can switch to whatever it happens to be, full screen or windowed, toggle, and your brightness. And actually, most of the video options are buried over here in advanced. It's actually advanced graphics options, but doesn't show up as that. Before we even go into that, though, in fact, before you even load the game up, I would highly recommend that you go into your video card, into the control panel of your video card, and into the program options for The Witcher in there, and set it at something sensible for frame rate. By default, The Witcher's frame rate is uncapped, actually, which is very strange for back then. Usually you're going to have games that run at 30 or even 60 FPS, but no, The Witcher on its own, left to its own devices, will go up to 200, 300 frames a second if you let it. And that puts a lot of needless wear and tear on your video card. I highly recommend you guys go in there and limit it to whatever your monitor's refresh rate is by default. You know, whether that's 60 or 75 or 120, whatever it happens to be. Do that and then enable VSync while you're at it. There should be 2 settings in there that you can do. There's no way to do that from inside here, and your video card will thank you, believe me. It'll prevent a lot of screen tearing and a lot of other stuff. But for now, take a look at advanced. By default, a lot of these are going to be set at medium, and my advice to everyone, provided your hardware can handle it, and there's really no reason it shouldn't. This is a game from 2007. You want to crank all of these as high as it'll go. I've done that on my end. Again, it's down to personal taste, whether you like things that are like certain settings like depth of field. I don't mind it too much for this game, but your mileage may vary, so act accordingly and turn things off. But as for the rest of this, you want most of this up to high. You want the game to look as good as it possibly can, and medium 2007 does not look very good at all in 2023. So for controls, again, all very subjective. You want to mess with these on your own. Find the things that suit you the most. And sound, again, is one thing that is very subjective. I've got this as best as I possibly can get it for recording. I'm actually going to turn the master volume back up to 10. And I only turned it down so I could talk to you guys, so make sure you hit accept on your way out, or these settings will not change across the board. So, go with that. Alright, so credits, options, that's all taken care of. We can load a game. We have no saved games, because I removed my old saves in order to not delete them by accident while playing the LP. So we're going to go into a new game. Gives you two options. You can play through The Witcher, venture through a dark world where there is no good or evil, just choices and their consequences. This is the main campaign. This is what we'll be playing. Just to show you briefly, I'll click on New Adventures. We can play one of the new adventures, which tells a singular story based in the world of the characters of The Witcher. These are, they're kind of like mini expansions. DLC. Only two of them are official, and the only two that are really worth your time out of these are The Price of Neutrality and Side Effects. These are both made by CD Projekt RED, and they're properly voice acted, they're fully official, and they tell the story, retell some of the stories of the novels, I think. Price of Neutrality especially. Side Effects, I don't really remember much about it. It wasn't that impressive, this one. Price of Neutrality is definitely worth playing, but both of these, you're going to want to do these after you've played the main game. Like, save them for a rainy day. If you play these beforehand, especially Side Effects, it's going to tire you out on some of the main areas in the main campaign. You definitely don't want to do that. Don't cheapen the overall experience for yourself. The rest of them are non-official. They're all made by players, and they're of varying quality. Damn Those Swamps, from what I remember, is just terrible. You want to avoid playing this at all costs. Not worth playing. I don't know why they included it in the official release of this game, but stay away. Deceits and the Wraiths of Quiet Hamlet both crashed on my old computer. I don't know if they work on my new computer, but these were the two that interested me the most, and I wasn't able to play either of them, unfortunately. Maybe they're good, maybe they're not. It's hard to say. They're made by players. They're like mods, so... and we have The Wedding, which is kind of a comedy module. It's very, very subjectively funny. I'll put it like that. I mean, a lot of this is going to kind of go over the heads of non-Polish speakers, because the translation is a little strange, and I don't know, some of the humor just doesn't translate. Not that it's bad or anything like that, or it just, there are things that are said in Polish that don't really make sense in English, and when you try and put them in English, they don't really sound like they should. So Merry Witchermas is kind of the same thing. It's, you know, it's a holiday module. Try to do their best take on a Christmas story. I think this one has been updated since it was included in the E, so you want to get the newest version. I haven't updated it, so it is what it is. Wasn't very good. I played it. It was kind of just okay. Wasn't bad. Wasn't great, but just okay. But yeah, so that's those. Let's go back, and we're gonna just dive right into the main campaign. One thing before we do that, the video at the start of this episode was actually a perfect adaptation of Geralt's fight with the Striga in the first novel. All that happened years before the game in the timeline. I guess it serves as a decent introduction to what Witchers are for newcomers, anyway. So, just to not confuse you guys when we go into that, it's like, when did that happen? Well, a long time before the game. It's something they wanted to do, I guess. But yeah, let's get started then. The Witcher. We're going to be playing on hard. The last time I played was on medium, and medium in modern RPGs tends to represent what easy is. Like any game made after Y2K or so, you're gonna wanna always assume that medium is easy and hard is medium. And if there's an extra hard option, that's the hard mode. So we're gonna play on hard. I'm pretty good at this game. Well, maybe I shouldn't speak so soon. I'm decent at the game, so I think we'll be alright. So, let's go. And, okay. Right, we have to set our control mode, so we can either play with the mouse, or we can play with the mouse and keyboard. We're playing on a PC, we want to take full advantage of the hardware. Let's go with mouse and keyboard.
The northern kingdoms nursed their wounds for 5 years after the Great War. Plague and famine raged, the death toll unknown. A few surviving elven and dwarven units sought refuge amidst forests, where they prepared for a final, desperate fight. Abominable beasts ruled backwoods, highways, and former battlefields alike. In cities and villages, folk were left wondering, what had happened to the Witchers? The Blue Mountains in the north of Kedwin. The year 1270, 5 years after the Great War.
Everything's all right. I've no idea where you've been. The important thing is you're alive and among friends. Though you look like you just left your grave.
I remember nothing.
We'll speak soon enough. We're nearing Kaer Morhen. We're home. Leo, get Triss.
Your time nears its end, witches. Enjoy things while you can.
Wrong, you missed the parry. I keep repeating this. Pirouette always followed by a back cross parry. Always.
Barely 2 days have passed since they found you.
I owe my recovery to you. Thank you, Triss.
Remember anything?
Not much. Look below. I know the moves. Pirouette, parry, cut. I can't explain it, but I feel a bond when we speak. I know you are important.
Geralt, we...
I need to think.
Time flows slowly at Kaer Morhen.
Ha! It worked! Not bad. Take a rest. What do you think, Geralt? Is he ready for the path?
Wait for the rest. He's alone. The Professor promised 50 orens for every freak we kill.
He's mine!
Vesemir, we got company.
I'm shutting the gate. Geralt, grab a sword off the training forms.
Man, that cutscene gives me chills every time. So good. We'll have to reflect on what all happened in it a little later, though, because right now we are under attack. Kaer Morhen is besieged, and we must defend our home. So, move the cursor over the sword and left-click it to equip. Rusty sword. And it's just going to teach us how to attack and stuff. I'm not going to go over that with you guys just yet. Go after one of these guys. Good stuff. You're next. Over the shoulder, yeah, that's fine. Nice. Alright.
How do you feel?
Fine.
Anyone know who the intruders are?
Ordinary bandits would never attack Kaer Morhen.
That we know, Marigold. You could try some of your famous magic.
In due time, Lambert.
Enough! We need to check the other possible passages to the upper courtyard.
And so we shall. Also, the diligent eyed among you will have noticed quite a few mods already in place, I imagine. We've already probably seen about a third of them. I'm just checking my my control key here to see if I can see things on the ground, if there's any loot. Nope. But yeah, I will go over the mods with you guys once we're in a quieter section. No doubt you'll have seen a few by now. There's probably already seen a third of them, like I said. Just gonna follow Lambert here. And Leo. Anything over here? No. Actually really like this rusty sword. Modeled quite well.
What's happening?
They're trying to break down the gate!
They won't get anywhere without a battering ram.
You were saying?
Shit! What is that?
A frightener.
Praying
One
mantis.
mean beast.
Savola. I know him. A mage as ambitious as he is insane.
They're coming up here. Get ready!
There's more! They're entering the upper courtyard!
The one in glasses is the Professor. Murder for hire. I sense magic. There's a sorcerer among them.
Professor, you know the way. Get to it.
The Professor is wanted in Redania, Temeria, and Kedwin. A real maggot. I don't recognize the sorcerer.
Marigold, I'm interested in whether you can disarm Savola. The rest is witch's work.
I'll try.
They're coming.
The Frightener is very dangerous, but it's vulnerable to loud noises.
The bell's in the upper courtyard.
Exactly. Eskel, Lambert, you'll help me stop the Frightener and the bandits. Leo, stay behind us. Geralt, you open the gate to the upper courtyard. When we're there, Triss can stop Savola and his pet, while we prepare to deal with the Professor and the unknown mage.
I'll figure something out.
Let's do this. Bleed them a bit down here before withdrawing. Geralt, follow the wall and break through to the tower where there's a passage to the upper courtyard.
Alone?
They're just bandits, though one might be infamous. You must open the gate. We'll be waiting. Good luck, Wolf.
Very well. Yeah, the mini-map is up here in the top right corner of our screen. Fine. Get our sword out here. So chaining attacks. Chain attacks to kill enemies more efficiently. Left click only when you see the orange trail effect. Now this is only for hard mode. If we were playing in normal mode or easy mode, we would actually have our cursor turn into a burning sword and flash yellow. That would be when you wanted to click to continue the combo. Since we're in hard mode, we don't have that to rely on. We actually have to look at the orange trail from the weapon. As well, we could rely on the sound that the sword makes, which is a little harder to pick up on. It sounds like a swish swish at the end of each attack. But I will be trying to pay attention to this orange trail to the best of my ability. But we'll see how it goes. Let's try it out. A little too fast there. Wasn't quite ready. That's better. And we get a coup de grace. Oh, fucking brutal. Swoosh right across his neck. And I never really noticed, but Kaer Morhen is like an awesome castle. I don't think I've ever seen a better looking castle in a video game. All the different baileys and towers. It really feels quite authentic. So we have some more enemies here. I'm gonna get over closer to them, dodge a little close, pull them over here, and start our attacks. You can actually even swap between enemies and continue the combos if you're fast enough. I'm doing a little bit crappy here. There we go. I'd like to get a stun. I want some more coup de grace on camera. Well, that didn't work out for him. Let's see if we can get it on this guy. I think you have to be kind of really fast with that. I should also be checking for loot while I'm here. I'll have a chance to try it on those guys. But what's over here first? Some ruins. I believe this was the way up to... Yeah, the Professor and the Mage went through here. Can't get through there at the moment, so that'll have to wait for these. What is that? Something that you would tie rope to, maybe? I don't know. Some training device, maybe, for the Witchers? Whatever, there's a brazier. Brazier or brazier? It's brazier. Brazier is something completely different. Right. Let's, attack you. That should have stunned him. Fucking brutal, just behead him. Awesome. I love the combat in this game. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I never thought it was bad. It gets better the further you go into the game.
You'll regret the day you were born.
A little too fast.
I'll make you squeal.
Oh! Oh! Fuck yeah! Oh! So good. I love the moves in this game. Right. So, where are we going? Any loot first? No. So we're going up the stairs here. Thought I saw an enemy over there for a moment. Anything over here? I don't think there is. Alright. New region, the walls. Combat styles, fast style. Use the fast style to defeat agile opponents. Switch to the style by left-clicking on the cat icon or by pressing X. And I have mine actually set so I can toggle it by hitting shift. That's better. I don't know why we weren't advancing there. Yeah, one of the awesome things about The Witcher's combat is attacks drive the enemies across the battlefield. So when you begin on one end of a room, the fight will end on the other. That's actually really cool. Like every hit we do here, it drives the opponent back.
Mess with me and die.
As it should do. Also love the stance that Geralt is in here. Let's actually try and get him to do it here. No. Take the sword out. Yeah. This sword is Vom Tag. This is from German longsword, and a lot of people think this looks really strange in-game. But, yeah, that's how you're supposed to be holding a longsword. Geralt's posture is a little bit screwball, but for 2007, they do a great job kind of with just the basics. Like, obviously, the combat itself is not authentic longsword. It's gussied up to make it look, very flashy as per what The Witcher is supposed to be. But just the fact that they include some of the basics.
I'll make you
I want to fight him first if I could. There we go. He's not being driven back right now because he's up against a wall. What the? I thought he was stunned there for a moment. Whoops. Switch over to fast. Start attacking the Salamander Bandit. But yeah, it's nice that they kind of included sensible ways to be holding a sword. Like this, when you're running, that's perfect. You're wound up so that you can immediately swing and launch into a thrust or a cut if you happen to run into an enemy. Your hands are withdrawn, holding the sword in a sensible place so that you don't get your fingers or hands themselves sniped by an enemy that's unsuspecting. You can probably take all those guys, but we're not going to have a chance. Oh, come on, we can take him! Now we need some early 2000s gravity-defying slow-mo instead.
No way through here. Follow me. Back to Savola.
It's the rule of cool. Nothing can be done. All right, what do we have here? Don't really like rolling, but whatever.
Take that!
Actually a stun there. We want to get the hell out of here. Switch back around. Deal with you. A little too fast. Doing good though, doing good. Any loot? No, there's a bell, there's a siege cauldron. There's a barrel there that I see. Deal with this archer first. There aren't many ranged characters in The Witcher.
sorry.
You see them every so often, but a lot of the times they're just friendly NPCs with crossbows or bows. You don't really fight. Yeah, this guy has remains, so we have flint. We'll take that. Look at that in a moment, because we saw this barrel back here that I want to loot. We get more flint and a blueberry. So flint is a common item. It can be used to light a fire, single use only. And blueberries restore vitality. Take all that, make sure that we got it by holding Alt. Yes, we did. And we got more remains, apparently. Where? Over here. We have a Viziman Champion. Vile beer brewed in the capital city of Temeria. Well, I mean, it is good money, I suppose, if nothing else. Even not that. I think they're only worth like one gold or something like that. We've got the main keep of Kaer Morhen here. I'm going to be going in there in a moment. I'm going to go down here, though, first. I'd like to get my sword out if I could. Thanks. Probably switch over to heavy. Like, again, this is another perfect stance to launch into an attack from. If you were running, if you were actually fighting with a longsword. Because you're wound already, and you can spring immediately by throwing a thrust outward or a cut, whatever. I get some coup de grace in here.
I'll make you squeal.
I'm gonna be on this guy, I'll tell you that. Alright, let's see here. Pause the game. Obviously, this is a real-time with pause game, so I have the benefit of doing that. Hey. Whoops. We'll do, That's a little bit of a random chance whether you get the coup de grace. Dodge backwards, switch over. Got a fast stance. So strong for large enemies, fast for small enemies. And that changes a bit when we left-click the winch to open the gate. Yeah, that's fine. That changes a bit once we start dealing with monsters. You can't always rely on that to be accurate. Winch. So let's open this gate. Looks like our bros are doing well. Oh. Right across the gut. Yeah, you must be stepping off there. Yeah. Sometimes it's all you can do. What? Thank you for ruining our gates.
Damn it, Geralt. It's a miracle you're alive.
You could have told me about the stairs.
Lambert and Eskel were supposed to fix them yesterday.
We're not masons.
No matter. The professor and the other mage must be hiding in the keep.
Face the truth, Witchers. They're here to rob you.
Triss, child, we have nothing of value. Some good steel, snow fox pelts?
I mean the laboratory and you know it. Someone wants your famed mutagens.
You're jumping to conclusions.
Triss may be right. We need to find out what they want.
One thing at a time. We shouldn't turn our backs on a strong mage leading a frightener.
And you can't let the bandits in the lab.
Right as usual, Triss.
Geralt, you've dealt with mages. Find out what this one wants. Leo will guide you.
Just reconnaissance, or...?
No one will be sorry if some of them lose their heads. You'll manage, Wolf. Just remember Leo's with you.
I can handle this. We'll see what's happening inside and be back.
Take these potions just in case. Drink the Thunderbolt now and keep Swallow for when you need healing. I'll be able to tell you how they work. We'll make sure no one else gets inside. Triss, stay with us in case Savola has any new ideas.
Good stuff. So to access items, you open the inventory by left-clicking on the satchel or pressing I, right-click the Thunderbolt potion to use it. Fine. I think our journal has been updated a few times. We may want to take a look at that in just a moment. So we got a couple of potions from Vizimir. Thunderbolt is the one we want, so I'm just going to drag my Swallow potion up into my quick slot up here, and we'll drink the Thunderbolt right now, because it forces us to. don't actually even need to. I wouldn't need to anyway. Any loot? No. Oops. Pardon me. Why don't you guys all go first? How about that? And Triss just takes the other set of stairs instead of fumbling around with the boys. I don't blame her. I want to just run up here. Should trigger the cutscene. Oh, wow, you guys are quick. Oh yeah, I was going to check the journal, wasn't I? So, most of this is just tutorial. I'm going to click through all these just to get them to disappear from my... We've got different characters. We'll look into these once we're in a more settled area. I do want my quests at the moment. I drank the Thunderbolt potion. Now I need to enter the fortress and find an underground laboratory. I should pass through the main hall before descending the stairs. Alright. Probably won't be reading all the journal entries in the game because that would take forever. Each phase of the quest gets to update. What are we doing here? Leo?
Ready, Geralt?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Is this your first real fight?
No, but I've never killed a man.
Stay close.
Oh, that's wonderful. Get our sword out. It's strong, I think.
I've heard all of Dandelion's ballads about you. Lambert tells me I'll never be as fast as a real Witcher, but I managed to hit him during training today.
You beat Lambert?
Yeah, we were fencing on the floor pegs when that strange storm came. Lambert looked away, I did a pirouette, hit him right in the gut. He didn't fall, and then he beat me.
You'll make a good swordsman yet.
I know. Every time Lambert beats me, he says I have potential.
You know, it's funny. I was actually watching somebody else's LP, one of my favorite LPers, Variax, from back in like 2010 of The Witcher, and he was playing the non-EE edition, and Leo, as well as some of the other Witchers, have completely different voice actors, and I'll be honest, they said they updated the voice for the EE, but a lot of them kind of don't sound as good as the original. I don't know what happened there, but a lot of the dialogue doesn't flow quite as well as it did. It's almost like people were more in the zone, and even the actors that they swapped out, I think Leo had a different actor in the EE. Like, he doesn't sound as good as he did in the regular version. I don't know why they changed him, but anyway. Should be enemies in here. There we go. I kind of wish I didn't have this Thunderbolt potion on, because I'm enjoying the coup de grace. I'm doing extra damage. Does not allow me to see them. Loot? No. In the main hall. This place is really badass. No, I don't want to get my sword put away. Alright, so we finally unlock group style. Group style is most effective against groups, no kidding, of weaker opponents. Switch to this style by left-clicking the griffin icon. I'll just swap over doing my shift keys here. A lot of little guys. Everybody goes flying. As soon as you get back to one or two opponents, you want to switch back to the individual style. Group stops working well when it's not three. At least three. Alright, lots of remains though. 2 orens, that's the currency, and mutton legs. We got more flint and orens. More orens. Money is always welcome. More remains here. More orens, in fact. One of the mods that I wanted to install when I started playing was ones that kept the bodies, like made bodies stay and not disappear until you zoned. But unfortunately, doesn't work with Project Mercy. There's a conflict somewhere, and man, there's a lot of files in the body stay mod for The Witcher, so I couldn't be bothered looking through to see which ones were the problem. I got my sword.
These stairs lead to the lab.
All right.
Follow me.
Who's following who? Seems like Leo found them before I did.
The energy you annexed from the Circle of Elements is enough to stop the Witchers?
You trembled, yet you complained Savola would have them all, leaving none for you. Did the sight of a single Witcher, White Wolf himself, instill fear?
The aforementioned, considered dead I might add, is a known killer. I'll gladly challenge him.
Leo, stand back. Come on, Professor.
Time is essential. I wield the power of the Circle of Elements. They are no threat. Back to work. I want the mutagens ready for teleportation in 15 minutes. Our witches shan't trouble us.
We're cut off. The stairs are blocked.
The magic barrier looks solid. We need Triss.
They're robbing us. Geralt, clear the passage upstairs. Use a sign.
A sign?
The Ard. I can't do it since I broke my fingers training along the gauntlet. Cast the Ard at the debris.
I don't remember the signs.
Let's go to the Circle of Elements, a source of the power. You need to try and learn the Ard.
All right.
We're gonna learn some magic now, which Witchers, being monster slayers, they mostly use their swords, multiple swords, but I did see that just there. I'm just leaving it be until we get through the story section so I can loot it later. But they do have access to some basic magic. Very simple spells compared to sorceresses or sorcerers, but welcome all the same. This is the Ard
Success?
sign.
We'll see in a minute.
I knew it would work.
Let's get back before Lambert kills the Frightener himself.
Yes. The Ard sign is a telekinetic force useful for clearing obstructed pathways or knocking back opponents, especially that. Right-click to cast the sign. We've got it already equipped. Now, I do see that we've taken a little bit of damage. Not enough for me to carry yet. Alright, we can't get through there. There's a magical barrier. And we just left-click and we're clear.
What did you learn?
The bandits are in the lab, searching for something. The mage used the Circle of Elements to create a magic barrier.
The plague. You're all children. Why didn't you mention the circle?
Triss, child. It didn't seem important.
If the mage aligned with the circle, he can create a stable portal through which he'll travel to anywhere on the continent, taking your equipment with him.
That's a problem.
All right, we made a mistake, but you said the mage was harmless.
I said I didn't know him. I think we should protect the lab above all.
Don't panic, Marigold. We know you'd like to see our witch's secrets.
Vesemir, if that idiot doesn't shut it, I'll...
Enough! Lambert, stop baiting Triss. Show her some respect. Triss, if we go to the lab, they'll have us surrounded. We know tactics.
Maybe we should split up.
Geralt's right. We need to protect the lab and kill the Frightener. Who goes where?
Only I can break the barrier. I'm going inside.
Vesemir?
I'll stay and handle the Frightener and Savola. What about you, Geralt? We may both need your help.
So this is the first point in the game where we have an important choice to make. We can either go with Vesemir and the rest of the Witchers and handle the Frightener, which is technically our job, or we can go and defend the lab with Triss. And to be honest, I don't think Geralt would want to leave Triss on her own to go off and fight this mage. We don't know what he's capable of, and she needs backup. We're going to the lab.
The lab is important. I'm going with Triss.
Me too.
It's decided then. Eskel and Lambert will stay with me.
Savola just cast a spell. Something's happening.
The ground is shaking. Feel it?
They're breaking through.
Watch out!
Quickly, defend the laboratory!
That's a shame. The Frightener fight is a really cool fight, but, I don't know, it seems more sensible to me that we would go into the lab and just send Triss on her own.
This could be a hard fight, Geralt. Take this potion. Witchers call it the Tawny Owl. It restores endurance. Very useful when fighting mages.
Thanks. Let's go.
Alright. So she gave us a potion called Tawny Owl. We're not going to take it just yet. What I am going to do... I don't know whether I want to pop the Swallow potion now or later. One thing I wanted to mention, again, with the voice acting, especially Lambert, but it's a downgrade from the regular version, in my opinion. I don't know where you would easily find... Probably Barry X's LP of The Witcher would be the easiest place to compare the differences, but just the cadence with which they're speaking doesn't work in the EE. I don't know why they changed it. That's not to say there aren't other improvements, but at least for this area, I don't see the big improvement.
You'll go no further, White One. I'll summon a powerful demon that will tear you apart.
A bluff. He's exhausted from teleportation. Magic light is about all he can muster.
Go. We'll deal with him and join you at the barrier.
Why, you guys are gonna just let her go?
Underestimating an opponent. Now the energy of my people will make me stronger.
Alright. Here's the boss fight. We're gonna take our Swallow potion, which we could have done by just clicking that. It needs to happen, or else I'm gonna die. Kill all the minions first. Right. So it just told us that this yellow bar here is our endurance. Savola's gonna warp all over the place. I'm gonna switch to strong stance to fight him. So knockdown. Teleports away.
Defend yourself, bitch.
Oh, shit! I think we stunned him.
Are you hurt? Did he get you?
Nah. But if those were magic lights, I'd hate to face a truly powerful sorcerer.
I wanted to help, but I couldn't break through that strange circle.
Savola's eating dirt. That's what matters.
We need to help Triss.
Let's go.
Hopefully we see some of the other finishers pretty soon. Ooh, lots of loot here. We got a sapphire, valuable item which can be sold or given to someone. We have a silver ruby ring, another one of the same, more blueberries, and some orange. I'm gonna take all of that. Anything else lying around here? Probably.
We need to get to the lab.
Right, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't expect to finish him so quick, but it'd be nice to see some of the other finishing moves. There's one in particular that I can't wait for you guys to see. It's my absolute favorite. If they ever did, like, just a remaster of the game as it is without... I know they're kind of planning one, but if they did a remaster of the engine, it'd be nice to actually choose the finishers you wanted to see. I know that's kind of... No, you know, that would make sense, because Geralt is in control of the coup de grace that he's doing, so you should be able to do whichever ones that you want. That's the kitchen, we'll leave that be. Over here is, where we need to go.
They're ransacking the laboratory. The other mages... I underestimated him. Hurry.
Battle music, for some reason, gets increased during dialogue. I don't know why that is, but whatever. There's a lot of little quirks about The Witcher that you kind of have to live with. It's It was CD Projekt RED's first attempt at making a game, so it's a little rough around the edges, but it's a diamond in the rough. It's a very enjoyable game.
I found it. We have what we came for. Professor, deal with those witches.
I hear witches can parry bolts in flight.
Easy. Leo, what are you doing?
Let's see.
Oh no.
Leo, stop!
Another fairy tale.
Awesome. Well, shit.
What happened?
Smashed ribs, punctured lung. He's dying.
He needs White Rafford's decoction. Hang on, Leo. It was here. I can't find it.
Vesemir. Leo is dead.